Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. Today's video is going to be my weekly watches, everything that I've watched from my collection this week. We have got quite a few this week. I think it's about the same as last week. I think it's about 11. So we'll just get cracked straight on, go through all of them, give my thoughts on them, tell you a bit what they're about. And yeah, that'll be it. So first up we have Chloe. Which is sort of like an erotic thriller, I suppose you could say. As you can see, it stars Julianne Moore, my guy Liam Neeson, and Amanda Seyfried. It basically follows this woman, played by Julianne Moore, who's a doctor, and she thinks she has suspicions, shall we say, that her husband, played by Liam Neeson, who's this esteemed college professor, is having an affair. So to try and make her feel a bit more at ease, she hires this young woman, Chloe, played by Amanda Seyfried, who is escort, hooker, whatever word you want to use, to basically try and find out whether he acts on his inhibitions. She flirt with him and see if he acts upon it. And yeah, so like I said, she pays her to do that, and I'll leave it there. The story kind of goes from there. It's got a fantastic twist that, whilst you kind of think you should have seen it coming, I didn't see it coming at all. But it's like a wow when it does happen. Just I think makes the film all that much better, has a better payoff in my opinion because of that twist reveal towards the end. But yeah, it's a really good thriller. Flies by as well. It's only an hour and a half. If you want to kill some time, want to chuck on a decent thriller, then yeah, I can definitely recommend this. Good acting in it, good story. Yeah, pretty good film that was. Chloe. And I followed that up last Sunday evening with Hudson Hawk with Bruce Willis. This is, I suppose you could use the word infamous in his filmography, because a lot of people absolutely hate this film. It is a bad film. It is definitely a bad film. And I'm still not too sure where I fall with this film, because it's tonally, it's just a very odd film, because it's very wacky comedy, but there's also action, and it's tonally, it jumps all over the place for me. There are parts of it that really do work, and there are parts of it that I was just a bit like, I didn't know how I felt about it. I don't know whether they went too far with the comic stuff, and yeah, there was definitely some funny bits. Like I said, Bruce Willis is great. Love Bruce Willis. Richard E. Grant, we were saying on Jim's stream last night, very underrated actor. Should be much bigger than he is. He plays the villain in this. You got James Coburn, whom I didn't like his character. I think he was a bit wasted in the film, in my opinion. Andie MacDowell again, just didn't really do anything for me in this film. Danny Aiello, on the other hand, always good to see him pop up in films. So yeah, I enjoyed watching him in this. Yeah, it is definitely a weird one. It's one that I think I need to give another watch to fully think about it, and because like I said, I just don't know how to completely feel about this film because it's just so odd. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts. That's Hudson Hawk. Next up, I watched, sorry. The Good German, which is a Steven Soderbergh film. As you can see, it stars George Clooney, Cate Blanchett, and a small role, I would say, from Tobey Maguire. It basically follows this American journalist that has come over to Berlin just after the war. The war is still technically going on. I think Japan's still in it, but the Germans have like surrendered, and they kind of try and get things back to some sort of normalcy. You've got the American troops, you've got the Russian troops over there still, and it's about sort of they at the point where they're just trying to find peace in the country. Basically, you have Cate Blanchett's character, who was his like one-time love during the war, and she's got her own secret. She's kind of being a bit deceptive, and there's this young like sort of officer played by Tobey Maguire, who is seemingly her new lover. There's a murder that happens. No one's really interested in solving it except for George Clooney's character, and it's him diving in, trying to find out what's happened to this person that was murdered. I won't say who it is, because I'd say watch it for yourself to find out. But yeah, really great. The way this film is shot is brilliant. I think Roy has seen this, but if you haven't seen it, it would 100% be right up your street. It is like a proper film noir film, but like a modern film noir, obviously. Clooney's great, Cate Blanchett's great, Tobey Maguire's great, got a great score from Thomas Newman. Yeah, like I said, the fact that it's just shot in black and white, and the aspect ratio that it was shot in, it's just brilliant filmmaking, I think. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Great thriller, The Good German. And then next up, I followed that up with The Leisure Seeker, or The Leisure Seeker. They call it The Leisure Seeker because they're American, but I would call it The Leisure Seeker. It's basically the name of this elderly couple's RV that they've had for years. They used to go on vacations with their children in it back in the 70s. They're now grown up, their children. They're aging themselves, played by the brilliant Helen Mirren and Donald Sutherland. And one morning they get up and they decide to just leave in the Leisure Seeker, and go on one last big road trip, on a new adventure. But whilst they're on this like road trip, they kind of realise that the America that they know or knew when they were growing up, when they were younger, is very different now. And yeah, it's a really good film. Quite sad as well in places. But I mean, you can't go wrong with those two as leads in a film like this. It's a very easy film to watch as well. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. That is The Leisure Seeker, or Leisure Seeker, however you want to say it. Next up was the Watch Pile pick of the week, which was, where is it? Down there, Pale Rider, which I've already gone through my thoughts on that in the last Watch Pile episode, so I'm not going to go into it too much now. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Clint, in one of his last westerns, plays Preacher, who is a preacher who kind of just happens upon this small like town, and witnesses this local who's part of a local commune getting attacked by like a gang, I suppose, and he steps in, fights them off. The man kind of takes him in, asks him to come back. They're like a mining sort of commune, so they're looking for like gold. And it's about this big industrialist who owns, well, he doesn't own the town, but you know what I mean, like he has taken control of the town and the people within it, and he wants to basically get rid of all of these people on the commune because he wants to build on it, and Clint's having none of it. He wants to help fight with them to get them off, and get them away. And yeah, I'll leave it there. It was really enjoyable. It's great seeing like a young Chris Penn in here who went far too soon. He played like one of the villains, and Richard Kiel as well. Always great seeing him pop up in stuff like this. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyable Western. I do like a good Clint film, so yeah, that was a pretty good watch for me. That's Pale Rider. Then next up, I watched a film called Mumford, which is a Lawrence Kasdan film. I've been going through his films recently. I think the only ones that I own that I still have to watch, or only one, is Grand Canyon. I do need to get a copy of Silverado, though. I think that's on Blu-ray. And I think he did a newer one. I think it's called Darling Companion. I think it's Kevin Kline in it, and maybe Diane Keaton. I do need to get a copy of that as well. I've seen Dreamcatcher recently. I didn't think too much of that. Obviously, I've seen Wyatt Earp. I've seen The Accidental Tourist. I've seen The Big Chill. So if there's any that I'm missing there that you think I should add as well, let me know. But this one basically follows a man is set in like a small town, and he is the local shrink, like psychiatrist, therapist, whatever you want to call him. And everyone in the town comes to him with their problems, and they all have very odd issues that he doesn't really want to be listening to, but he does. And he has a huge secret of his own, and it basically, when this is revealed, it kind of unleashes hilarity upon the town and his patients. And he has like this love interest played by Hope Davis, and yeah, it's like a small town, like, feel good comedy, and I love those types of films, and this was no exception. I did really enjoy this film. Oh, of course, Body Heat as well. How can I forget Body Heat? Of course, I've seen that. And as you can see from the front, you've got Ted Danson in there, Alfred Woodard, you've got Jason Lee, Mary McDonnell, Martin Short as well. Pruitt Taylor Vince is in there. David Paymer, love David Paymer. And he's the name of the guy that plays the main character is Lauren Dean, but I can't say I've ever heard of him before. But yeah, really enjoyable film, this one. I would recommend this one if you like those sorts of films. Yeah, that is Mumford. And then next up, I had to throw a bit of Crazy Gary Busey in there for Jim, because I haven't seen any films where he's been the lead before. And this was in the Signal 1 sale for £5, so I thought, God, pick it up and give it a go for that. And you know what? It's actually a pretty fun action film, and that is Eye of the Tiger. I said Crazy Gary Busey. You got Yaphet Kotto in there as well. Seymour Cassel, who plays the like sort of corrupt sheriff of this town. And yeah, of course, it's got the famous title track in the film quite a few times. It basically follows Buck, played by Gary Busey, who's just got out of prison for a crime he didn't commit. He goes back to his hometown, wanted to just settle down and like start over with his wife and his daughter, but that is obviously not going to happen because, as you can see, it's an action film. Basically, his wife is brutally murdered, leaving his daughter kind of terrified. She's in like a state of shock for a while, and he takes it upon himself to get revenge on those who attacked him in his home and killed his wife. And he gets help from a friend who he saved in prison, gives him all the technology, the resources that he needs, and he fights back against this biker gang. And it's awesome. It's an awesome action film. There's not much to it. I mean, it is what it is. It's it is definitely a turn your brain off 80s action film. But it's a lot of fun. Gary Busey's fun in it. It is what it is. It's an hour and a half of cheesy 80s goodness. If you like that sort of action film, like a B-movie action film, give it a go. I mean, if you're over here in the UK, I think Signal 1 still have their sale on for £5. You can't go wrong with it. Hudson Hawk was in the sale as well, but I think because it's got the DVD with it, it was £7. But still really good price. But yeah, that is Eye of the Tiger. Then next up, I watched a film called The Chum Scrubber. Yes, a very odd title, and it's a very odd film, but it has an absolutely fantastic cast, which was basically the reason that I got it. It has got Jamie Bell, Camilla Bell, Justin Chatwin, Glenn Close, William Fichtner, Ralph Fiennes, Jason Isaacs, Alison Janney, Carrie-Anne Moss. You got John Hurd in there as well. Trying to think who else is in it. There's more, loads and loads. It's just name after name after name. Rita Wilson's in it as well. Rory Culkin. Yeah, loads of people in this one. It's a dark comedy, more on the dark side, I would say, about the lives of these people that live in like this suburban area, very sort of imagine Stepford Wives type suburbia, that sort of suburban area, or like in the remake of Fright Night. I don't know if the original is the same sort of suburban area, that kind of area, and all of these different characters and their lives and how they kind of join together throughout the film. And it basically, the main character is Jamie Bell's character, who basically finds his best friend who has hung himself, and he's kind of a bit in denial about that. He's struggling. I mean, I think the person that steals this film for me is Glenn Close, who plays the mother of the boy who commits suicide. She is incredible in this film. Just the way that she goes, like, she's just in, again, like he is kind of, she's in complete denial about her son's death. And there's a scene where she takes a, like, what do you call them, Tupperware, that like what you would cook like something in, back to Alison Janney's character, who plays Jamie Bell's character's mum. It's not her Tupperware. She's just going back through the neighborhood, giving back all the Tupperware that's been given to her because she's obviously been cooked for while she's been going through this. And just 5 minutes of screen time from Glenn Close is just incredible. And she keeps saying the same thing. She keeps contacting people and saying the same thing throughout the film. And I just think she was really good in this film. Ralph Fiennes is really good in this film. He plays the mayor of the town, and he kind of had an accident earlier on, which was how he met his fiancée, played by Rita Wilson. And he just keeps seeing dolphins everywhere, and to him it means something. It means he needs to do something with his life. You got John Hurd, who plays like the local like police sort of sheriff, who is Rita Wilson's character's ex-husband. They're all connected somehow. I won't go into it anymore. It's a really entertaining film, although it's quite dark, like I said. It's very Donnie Darko-esque in tone, I would say. It's a different film to Donnie Darko, but it's like it does say on the front, mentions Donnie Darko. I can see why. It does have some comparison to that in a way. But yeah, it's such an underrated film that I've never heard anyone, literally never heard anyone talk about before, and I just stumbled across it because of the cast. And yeah, I would 100% recommend this if you've not seen it. It's well worth the watch for just over an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, that is The Chum Scrubber. Next up, I watched Eastern Promises, Cronenberg film, Viggo Mortensen, Naomi Watts and Vincent Cassel. I prefer when Cronenberg does these more sort of mainstream films. I really like The Fly, I really liked A History of Violence, and I really enjoyed this one as well. I wasn't a fan of Videodrome, wasn't a fan of The Brood, not really my sort of film, just a bit too weird and out there for me personally. But this is more grounded. It's like a gangster sort of film set in London about this Eastern European family, and this like midwife that kind of takes it upon herself to investigate this young girl who has just given birth. I won't say any more. And she wants to find out a bit more about where she's from, like what happened to her in a way. And you've got Viggo Mortensen's character, who is basically just their driver, but he's like very loyal to this family, and he has secrets of his own as well, I shall say. You've got the leader of this family's son, played by Vincent Cassel, who's great in the film, who's pretty unhinged, just does things off the cuff without really thinking about the consequences. And yeah, just the way this film's written, it says Stephen Knight wrote this film, so you can kind of imagine what the script's going to be like. It's very high quality. I said to Jim on the stream last night, the scene in like the bath spa area with Viggo Mortensen's character is brutal, but he has balls for doing that the way it is done. If you've seen the film, you know exactly what I've talked about, and to use the word balls as well, you know what I mean. But yeah, really not entertaining because it's quite a rough watch. It's quite brutal, but it's an interesting watch. Just interesting story, and yeah, I did enjoy this. I'm not sure if he's done too many other films like this. I think Map to the Stars is another one I'm quite interested in because it's Julianne Moore and I love Julianne Moore. But I think that's quite out of print now. But I'd love to get hold of that. And is it a Dangerous Method as well, which also has Viggo Mortensen in? I would be interested to see that, but I think all of his other films are a bit too out there for me, I think. Unless there's any that you could recommend that you think I'd enjoy. But yeah, that is Eastern Promises. Then next up we have a film which I've only just picked up, but I've not bothered showing it in a video because I've picked two things up, two DVDs, and I don't think it's worth showing them in a video. So you'll see it here now. It's a film called Inside I'm Dancing, or it's better known in America for being called Rory O'Shea Was Here. And it basically follows this young man who is disabled and it just starts living at this new home. He kind of comes across this severely disabled man who struggles to speak, played by, what's his name? I know he's in Shetland, Stephen Robertson. And they kind of form a friendship. You've got Brenda Fricker, who plays like the head of this home that they're living in. Always great seeing Brenda Fricker pop up in a film. You've got Romola Garai, who I've seen. I didn't really know her before the year started, but I've seen quite a few films with her in now. I think she was more around this time. I don't think she does much anymore. She does things here and there, I think, like more TV, I think, from what I was looking at. But yeah, it's just about these two guys' friendship. It's based on a true story, I think, as well. Well, I don't know if it is. It's a funny and inspirational film about friendship and freedom that will make you laugh, cry, and see the world through different eyes. Yeah, really good. Funny. It is upsetting at times. But yeah, if you like a good British film, I don't know, Sam, have you got this one? Because I think you would definitely like this one. Cheap pickup for sure, but it's called Inside I'm Dancing. Yeah, I think that was one of James McAvoy's, might even be his first lead role in a film, I think. And then last up, I thought I'd chuck this on because I had time to kill after the stream last night, so I thought I'd chuck something on, give it a go, see what it's like. So I decided to watch FX, the first one, 80s sort of thriller, and I really enjoyed it. I know Roy and Stuart said they're okay, they're not really fans of the films, but I personally really like these sorts of cheesy, easy watching 80s films. I think the first is from 86. I think the second came out in 91. Yeah. Interesting thing about this, though, I read that apparently Dodi Fayed produced both of these films, which is crazy. I didn't really know, other than obviously he was killed in the crash with Princess Diana. I didn't really know anything about him, but apparently he was a film producer and he produced both of these films and the TV series. So interesting bit of trivia there for you. But it basically follows this special effects artist Rowley Tyler, played by the brilliant Brian Brown, who is basically approached by this like bit mysterious guy from the Department of Justice to basically fake this gangster's death, because he's about to basically provide evidence at this big court case, and then go into witness protection. So they want to fake his death so they don't come after him. But everything is not right. It's all a bit nefarious. Someone then decides to start trying to kill Rowley, and it's up to like grizzled cop Brian Dennehy, who's again always great, who kind of thinks that he may be involved somehow, might be responsible for these murders that are going on, and Rowley's got to go on the run and try and prove his innocence, and he's using his wits, his brains, and his special effects work to kind of get the killers, get who's responsible, and yeah, great film. Really enjoyed this film. I'm looking forward to watching the sequel, actually. I'll probably give that a watch next week. Just, like I said, easy watching, cheesy 80s goodness for me. Yeah, really like Brian Brown, really like Brian Dennehy in the roles. Special effects in the film is really good. You got Jerry Orbach in it in the first film as well. love seeing Jerry Orbach pop up in films. I think this is the same year as Dirty Dancing, when it was Dirty Dancing. Maybe that was 87, I think. But yeah, I mean, FX. I mean, I got this in the Arrow sale, which is finished now, for 20 quid, which I think is well worth it for £10 per film. Slipcover, nice box of showing it off. You get stickers in the Blu-ray case. You got a nice thick booklet. You got a big poster. £20 is a steal for this, I think. I'd even pay 25 for it. I don't know how much it actually goes for normally, but yeah, well worth it. But yeah, that is FX. And that is everything that I've watched this week. So if you've seen any of the films that I've watched this week, please do let me know your thoughts on them down below in the comments. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. I will just say, before I sign off, the live stream will be tomorrow night at 7 PM as usual. And my guests tomorrow will be Jim over at Jim's Movie Channel, who, as I said, was on his stream last night, and he's been on quite a few of the previous streams. And we also have Pete over at Pedro's Movie Cavern, who, again, on my stream quite often, so regulars now. And there'll be some more, I expect. I don't know who else. It may just be the three of us. There may be a few more surprise guests. You'll have to tune in to see who ends up joining us, but that's tomorrow at 7 PM. Don't forget to comment down below everything and anything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment. And that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.